I play for the Canadian national team and Reading FC, and this is how I stay composed. I stay calm in tight situations by just focusing on my breath and focusing on being present. I think for me, I know that the pressure is there, but as long as I keep it external, then it's good for me. When I play in front of a huge crowd, I try my hardest to not focus on the crowd and just focus on the game and just remember that it's just another game of football. I wouldn't say that I lose any skills, but I definitely think in those high pressure moments, it's more difficult to stay present and stay composed. When two people are pressing me, how I stay calm is trying to focus on my touch, trying to focus on the things that I can control. Pressure before a game, it's a hard one, but I think as well, it's just focusing on what you can control and not trying to overthink the game and just remembering that it's another game of football. Yeah, I think in training we do well to replicate those situations so that we are ready for when we get into a game. When I take a shot on goal, when I focus on my technique, focus on where I am, and focus on the fact that I've been in that situation 100 times, I think it makes it easier to block out the pressure. In big moments like in the Olympics, I think it's really important to just remember to focus on what you've trained, and I tend to train how I'm gonna play, so I just try to focus on exactly what I've trained, and then I try to block out everything else. That was a difficult penalty for a lot of reasons. I think the lead up on my teammates and the other team, their penalties before, I think sometimes that can influence the pressure that you feel going into your penalty. But again, for me, it was just focusing on what I had trained the whole summer, and you're training for that moment, so just remembering that this is the moment and you have to be present. I would say a deep breath would be number one, just to compose yourself. Number two, I think, is confidence, so just believing in yourself and believing that you're gonna score. And then number three is coming back to your technique and remembering what you trained and just do the exact same thing. I think you can practice that. I think with those three tips, there's something that are universal to not just penalties, but also in the game. So confidence, technique, and that type of thing is things that you can practice with everything that you do. A tip that I would give the young boys and girls, I would say, focus on believing in yourself and focusing on strengthening your strengths, but also your weaknesses, and taking criticism with a grain of salt, but also just making sure that you're receptive to all information.